Okay, since you've made it this far into the project, I first and foremost want to say thank you. And I want to promise you everything I'm about to show you is super easy. You just need a laptop and the instructions that I'm about to give you. So what you're looking at here is a fully wearable cosplay suit for a new He-Man, okay? It's a Netflix series that a gentleman asked me to make for him specifically. So the first question I always get asked is how or what are these things scaled to? And the answer in this case is a specific person. So that's not him. Technically, he's this guy. Let me turn this off for a second. So this guy is almost 300 pounds, 6'8". Okay. So he asked me to make it for him. So I scaled it to match his body. Okay. So if you are 300 pounds, 6'8", and you scale all these parts up, you'll notice here they're at 20%. So all of these are at 1/5, and the sword is full size. But the question being, if you were to scale this up to 100%, would it fit you or me? And the answer is probably not. It would fit this guy. So people who sell these files at one size fits all, that's a terrible way to do this. This is what you should do. Just follow these simple instructions, okay? So that's the first question. If you scale everything up, it'll fit a 6'8", 300-pound guy. So that's not going to fit you. So what do you have to do? We'll learn that. What's the next question I get asked? So sometimes I only include one of something. So let's say, for instance, this shin guard here. Where's the other one? Okay. So the answer is, if I make these, if each one of these has like a million facets. So if I add them all, the files get huge and then Maker World boots them. So what you have to do is just copy and paste it, make a new one. Okay. Now you've got a duplicate, and then do right click, mirror, any of these work, but just X-axis is fine. So then let's just rotate it real quick so you can see, excuse me, not that one, this one. So you can visually see, look, okay, so see how this one tilts one way and the other one tilts the other way? So now you've got both, okay? So that's how you get, if there's only one of something, if it's an arm or a leg or a shin or something, that's how you duplicate that, okay? So another note here, why is the sword so big? Because the sword is always going to be the same size. It's life-size cosplay, so I sized the sword up. I think it's 42 inches long. However, I mean, again, you can see it here, how big it is compared to him. So there's no need to scale that because that's always going to be the same size. So I have all that in here. All you have to do is print that. But you have to scale these parts to your body. That's why they're small. I've printed all of these parts at this exact scale. They all work. So all you have to do is scale them up and size them to your body. Okay? So let's do this belt real quick as an example of how to do that. Okay? So add another bed here. Okay. So let's say, let's turn it just so it's nice and symmetrical. So let's measure it. Okay. So let's go under here and we'll grab the digital calipers, right? Oops, can't do that. There we go. Okay, and we'll go here and we'll go here. Okay. So 103 millimeters. Okay. So if your waist is 103 millimeters, which I guarantee it isn't, this thing would fit you perfectly. So how do we do this? First thing, you have to have cosplay calipers. If you go to my website and my page, you'll see that I have a pair that I designed. These are my cosplay calipers. This is me. I'm measuring my head. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to measure my waist. Okay. So I actually have huge calipers here, digital calipers. So I'm just going to throw it on my waist here. It's about 310 millimeters. Okay. So let's just call it 300 to use round numbers. So how do we scale this up from 103 up to 300? You have to do a little bit of math. So go to any phone or AI or calculator and just say this. What percentage of 103 is 300? 291%. Okay. So so we have to increase it 291%, but you have to increase it based off of what percentage it's at now. So what is 291% of 20%? 58.6. Let's just call it 59. So I'll scale this up to 59%. And again, that makes sense, right? Because the guy that I built this for is 300 pounds. At 100%, that would be much larger. So this would fit me. Does that make sense? Okay, so now we've got that dimension, but maybe, for instance, you think it's too tall. I don't know. So what the trick here is, you have to go up here to uniform scaling and turn that off, okay? Because if you don't, everything scales together. But now that that is off, now I can change one dimension at a time, okay? So I can make this huge. I can do this. If you grab a corner, those two will scale together. But again, the idea here is you have to turn off uniform scaling. So we have this 300 millimeters. Let's say this was this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I've got a little bit of a pot belly. So you do this dimension and you make that, okay? So now you've got the shape that fits you, okay? Does that make sense? You know it's going to fit, but of course now it doesn't fit on the print bed. Easy problem to fix. So I'm just going to shrink it real quick just so it's a little easier and faster for this video. So it's skipping off on all four ends, okay? So what do? We go up here to cut, and then this is where your work comes in. So you need to, depending upon your printer, right? Like if you have an A1 mini, all these need to be different sizes. So again, sending you all the files, it's cut up, just doesn't work. You have to be willing and able to do this yourself, and it's easy, okay? So I've got it cut here, a cut plane. You can add connectors if you want, but these things are like 5 millimeters, 8 millimeters. I think this is 8 millimeters thick at full scale. So connectors won't really work. I'm going to show you how to connect them all together at the end, okay? So we'll cancel that for now. I want to place it on the cut, so it flips it. We're going to perform cut, right? So now we've got these two archways, and then we'll go here, and we'll click this, and then we will rotate this down, and we'll rotate this over, right? So now we've got that. That looks great to me. I'd like to place it on the cut still. Actually, let's keep one oriented so we can see the difference. Okay, so see how it turned one and kept the other. Now, all you have to do is make them fit on the bed. Okay, so we'll go over here, take this one. In fact, you can even try buttons like this. Like this automatically puts them in a good flat position. This organizes them on the bed itself. It kicked it off. It says, hey, that's too big. But I call BS. I say it is not, because they both clearly fit. So you could do this, right? You can orient them and get them to where you need it to, and they'll both fit, right? Okay, and then do the same thing to this piece. So now, in this example, now you have a belt that's sized to your body, fits on your bed, you know is working, because I've printed at a small scale. Again, you can look at the images in the listing. If you don't believe me, the detail is all there. So again, now you've got the tools you need to scale, slice, and print. Last is assembly. So on some of these, like this sword, I used big pins, and I just would use super glue here, no problem. But for the armor pieces, what I recommend is using, sorry, I'm getting blocked here, is using this tool. Nope. Is using, where is it? Nope. Plastic welding kit. Okay. So this thing. I get mine on Amazon, but you can see here that it uses metal staples that heat up and go inside this gun. And then you put it again on between the two pieces, and it literally melts them together. It looks janky, I know, it looks cheap, but I promise you I've been making armor for years, and this is how I do it, and it works perfectly. Okay, so now you've got everything you need. Now you've got all the files, you've got the capabilities, the directions, everything you need to be successful. So scale this to your body, print it out, paint it up, and post pictures. I'd love to see your work. Thank you so much for coming this whole way. Good luck. Message me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. The universe is always conspiring in your favor.